Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So our fans are speculating that Jack Grealish could make a move to Manchester United. Now last night, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spoke to Jack Grealish. Now, during the summer, Jack Grealish told his friends he was on his way to Old Trafford. We was him for him during the summer, but Villa's valuation was £80 million, and that put us off. And we also had concerns about where he would fit in the team. Now, Aston Villa value him at £100 million, reflecting on his good performances. Now, Grealish played very, very well in the game yesterday night. He looked very, very dangerous on the ball, and he put some good crosses into the box. Now, in September last year, Grealish signed a 5-year contract with Aston Villa. So he committed his future with them. Now, up until this point, Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Villa. He's been a Villa player since the age of 6, and he's been in their senior squad since 2014. And since then, he has become an integral part of their team. Don't forget, he did get banned from driving. Now, it's said that Villa are expecting bids in this January transfer window from us and City. It also says that Liverpool have expressed an interest, and they're seeing him as a potential replacement for Salah, because he said that Salah is unhappy at Liverpool. Most of the time now, Grealish plays on that left-hand side. He is regarded as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. Now, I want to delve into some news on David Alaba. So, David Alaba to Manchester United is very, very unlikely now, because reportedly David Alaba is close to joining Real Madrid at the end of the season on a free transfer, and it says that Real Madrid have offered him a 4-year contract. Chelsea have been interested in Alaba. City have also expressed their interest. Now, it did say towards the end of last year that we made a formal offer for the player. It's recently mentioned that we're willing to offer him £12 million a year. Now, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, who is the Bayern Munich CEO, he said last year that he appears to accept that David Alaba will leave on a free transfer. His contract expires at the end of this season. Alaba is the age of 28, I think. He's predominantly a centre-half, and he can also play as a left-back. Before, he's been deployed as a central midfielder. He's played on the left wing, and he's also played on the right wing. And he's been at Bayern Munich for several years. He's made over 400 appearances for them in all competitions, and he's won around 20 major honours. Before he was at Bayern Munich, he was at Austria Vienna, and he also had a loan spell with Hoffenheim. Now, I want to give you some news on Paul Pogba. So, Paul Pogba could stay at Manchester United. Paul Pogba has been in a good vein of form since he came back from that ankle injury. He put a very, very good performance out yesterday in the 2-1 win against Aston Villa. He obviously won the penalty because he got brought down by Douglas Luiz. and he also played a part in the first goal, and some of his link-up play was very, very good. Solskjaer did say that the ankle injury Paul Pogba had earlier on in the season was totally comparison to the one that he had last season, because he was out for the vast majority of last season. Now, Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with a return to Juventus. Paul Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison. He has had a good couple of periods though with us where he has been consistent. Swap deals have been high on the agenda. Now, it did say towards the end of last year that Juventus had offered us Adrian Rabiot and Aaron Ramsey in exchange for Paul Pogba. It also mentioned that they offered us Paulo Dybala and Federico Bernardeschi in exchange for Paul Pogba. And it said towards the end of last year that we have made a decision and we will let him go at the end of the season, but we won't let him go on the cheap, and we do want a world-class player in exchange. Now, before, he was relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. PSG, Barcelona and Inter Milan have also been in for him before. Now, don't forget, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract earlier on in the season, so he is under contract with Man United until June 2022. As far as I'm aware at the moment, there has been no talks over getting him a long-term contract at the club. Now, as it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. This is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. You know, he has made over 100 appearances for us in all competitions. He's won 3 trophies at the club, and that's the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. Don't forget, we had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Now, Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, made an announcement last month. You know, he told 2O Sport that Paul Pogba's unhappy at Manchester United. He said he has to leave, and he said his career is over and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. And then obviously he made a fresh statement saying that it's unlikely he'll leave in this January transfer window, but he said he can leave this summer. But Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. But there is a chance now he could stay at the football club because he has been good since he came back, like I said. But Juventus said anyway they're only willing to pay £50 million for him. Don't forget, during the last international break, Paul Pogba made quite a few comments saying like this season has been the most difficult period in his career. And he says playing for France is a breath of fresh air. And in general, he was talking about his Man United struggles this season. And reflects on his comments, he did receive a lot of criticism, and Didier Deschamps, the France manager, was talking a lot about him. So that's the news on Paul Pogba. Now, let me talk with you about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bringing the good times back to Manchester United? Well, he is at the moment. You know, you've got to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot of credit. You know, he's got us joint top of the Premier League table, you know, with a game in hand. He's got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. You know, he did well in his first full season last season. He got us qualification for the Champions League. He also got us 3rd, the second highest we've finished since the Ferguson era. And he also guided us to 3 semi-finals. Solskjaer has made good signings as well since he got appointed in as Man United manager. He spent over £200 million at the club. In the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he recommended Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore. And we've obviously seen a lot of players leave the club since he got recommended in. And I think Solskjaer showed tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games. And we are enjoying a good period at the moment. We are unbeaten in our last 10 league games. And we have been very, very good away from home this season. We haven't lost away from home yet in the Premier League this season. So Ole Solskjaer does deserve a lot of credit. We certainly enjoyed very, very good times under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, Alex Ferguson endured 27 years at Manchester United, won a total of 38 major honours. Including 13 Premier League titles, but Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. But like I've already said to you, no one will replicate Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy and no one will last as long as Alex Ferguson did. But we are now being a very competitive team, which is very good to see. And we are certainly in the title race. Now, Solskjaer did say after our 1-0 win against Wolves that we are not in the title race yet. He says if we are still challenging at the top in March, then he'll believe we are in the title race. Now, I'm very, very sceptical that Man United will win the Premier League this season, but I'm not going to fully disregard it. We could win it next season or we could win it the season after. If we do win the Premier League, it will be our first title since 2013 and it will be our 21st title overall. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say prior to the game against Aston Villa that the change of mentality in our players has got us in to the position that we are in. Solskjaer's obviously said that Anthony Martial is getting better and better. He also mentioned that Paul Pogba is getting better and better. But I'm starting to think now that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right manager for Manchester United. So I am slightly changing my perception on him. I've already told you my concerns about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. His decision making concerns me because in a lot of his games at Manchester United he has been tactically naive and reflecting on his mistakes. It has cost us games. He hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager. That's something that does concern me because before he came to Man United he was at Molde. He did win a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but Molde are a big club, and before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff and he did enjoy a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. His record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. But reflecting how long Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been Man United manager, he has gained managerial experience and he has learnt quite a bit. Ole has been at the football club now for just over 2 years. It was last month his 2-year anniversary at the club. Yes, it was last month. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We're given the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was temporary boss. He's managed over 100 games for the football club in all competitions and he has got a contract with us until 2022. This is his second full season at Man United, and I did say, didn't I, this was always going to be a big season for Ollie. And I said he's got to exceed his expectations if he is to remain in the Man United job, and he's certainly exceeding his expectations now. I said if we win the league this season, it will be remarkable. But if we finish in the top 4, the top 3 this season, and we win a trophy, and it's not the Premier League, I still think that would represent a very good season for Man United, and that would give us something to build on. Now, don't forget, there's 4 trophies that we can pursue this season. We can win the Premier League, we can win the EFL Cup because we are into the semi-finals, we can win the FA Cup, and we can also win the Europa League. It's very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. We haven't won a trophy now for almost 4 years, should I say, or just over 4 years we haven't won a trophy. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United is safe at the moment. He's not under pressure now, but he has been under pressure quite a few times since he got appointed in as Man United manager, because obviously we have endured bad periods. And obviously there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in. He was the favourite to take over at Man United. It's been confirmed he's been appointed in as PSG's manager. Massimiliano Allegri, he's been on our agenda a couple of times. At one point, Julian Nagelsmann was on our agenda, and Thomas Tuchel was on our agenda at one point. You can say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was lucky not to be sacked when we got knocked out of the Champions League. You can say he was lucky not to be sacked after our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. You can say he was lucky not to be sacked at the first part of last season. But I said to you, didn't I, that with Solskjaer being a club legend, our board have softened their stance on him. Now, it is good that we are looking to make more signings this year. I'm hopeful that Man United can make at least one signing in this January transfer window. Solskjaer did say, though, last year that he's not expecting a busy January transfer window. This transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window at the football club. Now, the board are going to be backing Solskjaer, hopefully, in this January transfer window. And I did say, didn't I, that Solskjaer does deserve more backing at the football club. Because he wasn't backed enough during the summer transfer window, because we missed out on all of his priority targets. And Solskjaer showed his frustration towards the board quite a few times during the summer. The board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. Main reasons is because our recruitment policy's been poor, and, the board haven't backed any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson left. But Woodward has come out several times to support Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, despite us having a poor start to the season. Now, Ed Woodward is confident of success under Solskjaer. But he did say that we are looking to strengthen up in 4 positions. Now, we are looking to recommend a centre-half in, a right winger, a holding midfielder, and a right-back. But I think Solskjaer has made a new centre-back his number 1 transfer priority. And like I've said to you, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. We're also going to focus on the outgoings as well as the incomings, don't forget, because there is still deadwood at the football club that we need to get rid of. Now, it's said that we are willing to let 4 players go in this January transfer window, and that's Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rojo, Phil Jones and Sergio Romero. And we'll obviously get rid of more players in the summer. So there you go. But certainly Solskjaer will be Man United manager at the end of this season, especially if this good vein of form continues. Now, if he's still here next season, that will be his third full season at the football club. In the last 8 years or so, we have been playing catch-up. Obviously, we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. So we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. We've only won 4 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield under Jose Mourinho. We have spent over £1 billion on players since Ferguson left, and we have bought around 36, 37 players in since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And I think a lot of the players we've brought in the last 7.5, 8 years haven't been the right calibre players for Man United. But like I've said we have made a lot of mistakes in the last 7.5, 8 years, and that's one of the main reasons why we have been so inconsistent. You know what I mean? But yeah, we are improving and we are getting better, like Solskjaer said after our 2-1 win against Villa. But he said we do need to improve if we are to challenge for the title. I think defensively we need to improve because we are still conceding goals. And Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof can be good when they want to be, but they are 2 static centre halves, aren't there? Let's just check my battery life on here because it's running low. But yeah. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is inheriting a squad that is worth 700, 800 odd million pounds. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. There's only a couple of players here now from the Louis van Gaal era. There's only 1 player here from the Moyes era. And there's only 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. But like I've said to you, there is good players at Manchester United. I think Marcus Rashford, he's a very, very good player. He's really, really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. He did very, very well in the game against Aston Villa yesterday night. He was unlucky not to get his name on the score sheet because he had some good chances, got some good runs in behind. He did play a part in the first goal with a flick on. Sometimes we play Rashford centrally and sometimes we play him out wide, but I think he's more effective out wide. But Rashford has been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Edison Cavani, he's a very good player. He's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career as Edison Cavani. We got him on a free transfer on deadline day last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. Obviously, Solskjaer did say not so long ago that Edison Cavani is definitely a starter. And he said we're looking to extend his contract already. And he did reveal the first thing that Edison Cavani asked when he came in, and that's whether he could wear the number 7 shirt. As you all know, Cavani got given a 3-match ban and he got fined £100,000 from the FA for the racist comment that he put on social media last month. It was in a Spanish context saying gracias Negreto. So he's served 1 game, he's got 2 games now to serve as Edison Cavani. I think that Mason Greenwood is also a very, very good player. Hasn't played a lot though recently, Mason Greenwood, to be fair. Ole has defended Mason Greenwood a lot this season because don't forget earlier on in the season he had personal issues. He was out with injury at one point, and at one point he was out with illness. This is Mason Greenwood's second season in our senior squad. At the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. Now, I've got to give Anthony Martial a lot of credit because I think he's done very, very well recently. He's proven to be clinical. He scored our first goal in the 2-1 win against Aston Villa yesterday night. Like I mentioned, Tyrone Mings was the culprit for Anthony Martial's goal because Tyrone Mings missed the header completely. Martial enjoyed a bad start to the season because he wasn't being clinical enough and he was just out of form in general. Don't forget he got that 3-match suspension earlier on in the season because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. Martial's enjoyed a good 5 years or so now at Man United. You know, he was good last season and he was good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. Solskjaer was the one that gave him that number 9 shirt. Now, I think Bruno Fernandes is a very good player. He's definitely our best player and he's the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Bruno Fernandes scored from the penalty spot yesterday in our 2-1 win against Villa. He also had other chances in the game, so he could have had more than one goal. Bruno Fernandes won Player of the Month for December. He's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. He's been at the club now for almost a year. Made a difference in the team, but Bruno Fernandes did say, didn't he, that he came to Manchester to win trophies. Now, I think Donny van der Beek is a very, very good player for Man United. But Donny van der Beek seldom starts in the Premier League. He's only started 2 league games so far this season. I think he's made 10 appearances in total in the Premier League. He seems to get more opportunities in the cup games, does Donny van der Beek. Now, we know that he can play in like 3 different roles. I think he's more effective in a deeper role. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Ajax in the summer transfer window last year. We paid 35 million up front and there was 5 million in add-ons. Now, Corriere dello Sport, which is an Italian newspaper, they've said that Inter Milan are looking to get Van der Beek on loan in this January transfer window. And they are considering swapping Christian Eriksen as part of a deal for Donny van der Beek, and Man United have been tentatively linked with Christian Eriksen. Now, Fred, I think he's also a very, very good player. You know, he shows good attacking intent, he breaks up the play well, he passes the ball well. I think the only thing that needs to improve with Fred is the reading of his game. He was good yesterday against Villa. We got him for £47 million from Shakhtar Donetsk a few seasons ago. And like I said, you know, Paul Pogba has improved recently. I think Luke Shaw is a very, very good left back. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. He weren't so good though yesterday against Aston Villa, was he, Luke Shaw? He's enjoyed a good 6 years or so now at Man United. We got him in a deal worth £30 million from Southampton back in 2014. I think Alex Telles is a good player. He's enjoyed a pretty good start to his Man United career. He's had a couple of bad games, hasn't he? But every player enjoys a bad game at some point. We got Telles in a deal worth £15.4 million in the summer transfer window on deadline day. I think Harry Maguire, he's really, really improved. Good to see him bounce back from his early season troubles, because he had that incident in Greece before the start of the season. But when Harry Maguire plays well, he shows that ability to play out from the back. He looks very effective in the air, and he's good from set pieces. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him in a deal worth £80 million, and he is our current captain. Now, I think Victor Lindelof is also good when he wants to be. I think Eric Bay's a very, very good centre-half. He's started our last 4 games now in a row, and he's been very, very good. He's better than Lindelof, and he made an imperative block yesterday in the 2-1 win against Villa. He was our saviour. Bay's just injury prone. That's my concern about him. I think Wan-Bissaka's also getting better. He got the assist for Martial's first goal yesterday night. And David De Gea, he's getting back to his best now, which is very, very good to see. So these good players at the football club. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.